In 1964, a boy vanished on Saddleworth Moor. In 2024, he appeared, just long enough to be seen, opening once more the Saddleworth murder case. This is the story of Keith Bennett, the boy who was never found, and his story is one of those that transformed Manchester crime history. Winter had returned to Saddleworth Moor, though it no longer came with the deep freezes people remembered from decades past. December 2024 was wet, bitter, and restless. The ground breathed mist. Detective Judy Hale walked her two Dobermans along a narrow path that cut through what is now a public park. She had grown up hearing stories about this place. Stories adults lowered their voices to say in whispers. Stories that never truly ended, at least not for one family. Everyone knew the moor had a memory. As she walked, the dogs stopped like they had seen something. Then they began to bark, low at first. Warning barks. Judy followed their gaze toward the edge of the path, where the land dropped away into thick grass and peat-dark soil. That was when she saw him. A boy. She froze. He crawled upward from the side of the moor as if the earth itself had released him. Tears ran down his face, cutting pale lines through the dirt on his cheeks. Judy's dogs lunged forward, dragging her with a strength that surprised her. Her boots slipped. Her winter jacket soaked through as she struggled to keep her footing. The boy moved away as they approached, not running, not panicking, just drifting. Then he stopped. So did the dogs. The silence hit like pressure in her ears. The boy wasn't dressed for winter. He wore a thin, torn shirt and scuffed shoes that belonged to another time. The clothes were wrong, decades out of place. Dirt clung to him, packed into the fabric and onto his skin like he had been buried and dug up again. Judy stood transfixed. There was no one else on the moor. No hikers, no lights. Just her, the dogs, and the boy. He turned slowly to face her. Then she saw him clearly. His eyes were hollow, not empty, but used up. His cheekbones looked fractured, as if they had never healed. From his eyes, blood ran like tears. Judy tried to move. She couldn't. The boy lifted one arm and pointed, far out into the moor. Then he began to walk. Slowly, Judy followed. With every step, the world felt thinner, like she was pushing through fog that resisted her. The air grew heavier. The light dimmed. The sun fixed. And then she saw them. Like a gate was opened into the moor, a road suddenly appeared. A car emerged through the mist, old, boxy, cranky. Its engine sounded dull, as if muffled by time itself. A man and a woman stepped out. Their clothes didn't belong to this century. Neither did their faces. They spoke in whispers, their voices carried unnaturally clear across the moor. They opened the boot. Inside were bags. Heavy ones. The woman hesitated. "This won't be found," the man said. "He fought too hard," she replied. They struggled with the bags, rearranging them, arguing in low voices. Judy tried to get closer, but the scene slid away from her, like a memory that refused to be entered. The man's face was very clear and recognizable, not much different from the old version she had seen dying in the hospital a few years ago. The boy beside her began to tremble. Judy forced herself to look at the car. She memorized it. The shape, the color, the license plate. The man slammed the boot shut violently. He then drove deeper into the moor, and then the mist swallowed everything. The boy turned back to Judy. He pointed again, not to one place, but many, north, east, west, fragments. Then his mouth opened, as if he were trying to speak, and just like that, he was gone. When Judy woke up, she was on the ground. Her dogs were barking wildly, circling her. Paramedics stood over her. Someone called her name. The moor looked normal. too normal. At the hospital, Judy wrote the license plate number on a scrap of paper with shaking hands and gave it to a uniformed officer. When the number was run, the officer went silent, then pale. It belonged to Ian Brady and Myra Hindley. The doctors checked her vitals and declared her fine and fit to go home. No head injury, no stroke. But the MRI scans told another story. Her brain showed signs of extreme visual encoding, as if she had witnessed something rather than imagined it. Judy didn't need a scan to tell her that. She knew what she had seen. She had seen 1964. She was there like she had traveled back into time. She had seen Keith Bennett. He was 12, and she felt him. He wore the same exact clothes seen in the picture from 61 years ago, but torn and worn. He had left his grandmother's house that evening, taking a walk less than a mile home. A walk he had made many times before, only that last one changed everything. Others abducted after him by the couples were found, buried, and preserved by Pete in the moor. But not Keith Bennett. Keith was never found. Judy sat alone in the hospital bathroom and cried until her chest hurt. Keith's case haunted everyone who knew it. His mother begged for answers until the day she died. His name had never left the files. Brady, his killer, grew old. He received care. He died quietly of natural causes. Keith never received a burial. Judy returned to the case files. Something didn't sit right. The car. When the records were examined again, a detail emerged that had been overlooked for decades. The vehicle wasn't registered to Brady. It was registered to his brother, a man who had gone to the police to report the couples, a man who had written a private manuscript about the moor, a book that was never published. He claimed someone had turned his ideas into reality, a copycat. By the time this connection was understood, he was dead. So was Brady. Judy went back to the moor alone. She stood where the boy had appeared. The wind moved through the grass, and for just a moment she felt it, the land remembering. She understood then. Keith Bennett hadn't been buried whole. He had been scattered, moved, broken apart, not one grave, many. That was why he could not be found. That night, Judy dreamed of the boy. He stood clean now, whole. He didn't point. He only looked at her. And somehow she understood. This wasn't about discovery. It was about acknowledgement. Saddleworth Moor remains open to the public. People walk their dogs there. Children laugh. Life goes on. But the moor keeps something darker. It holds secrets. It holds pieces and clues of many people who walked the earth and disappeared without a trace. And sometimes, just sometimes, it lets a story rise to the surface. Not to be solved, but to be known. Keith Bennett never came home. And until his name is spoken, until his absence is understood, the moor will never truly be silent. Judy believes that somewhere in the moor lies the fragment of Keith Bennett's body. But it is not conclusive. Why Keith? Why was his body treated differently from others, by Brady and his wife? She has seen many cases, but the Keith Bennett case always sends shivers down her spine and anyone who ever opens the case. As she walks away, she thought if Brady's brother was the one who reported the case to the police, then somewhere in his journal lies the truth about the body. There is something else. Maybe they never committed the crime in the first place. The mystery continues and Saddleworth Moor Park remains what it is, a playground.